And now, live from Isolation Station in Burbank, California, it's the Plague Week 46 of the Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Alison welcomes her guests. He's a writer, zaddy chaser, and man who lives his bread truth. It's Jordan Morris. And she's a writer and podcaster who's taken advantage of this quarantine to get so good at her new hobby, she now whittles her own panties. It's Alie Ward. Tone Zone is here to maybe be introduced at some point. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the Love Bus and say hello to your new best friend, Alison Rosen.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison Rosen. Alison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little funeral potatoes. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular Utah-based, I believe, carbohydrate was sent in on Patreon by SA. All sorts of fun stuff on Patreon, weekly bonus episodes, Zoom parties, this very video. If you want to see what we look like while we say these words that you're hearing, patreon.com/Alison Rosen. It's just an elite group of fun people. Anyway, enough of that because, I'm going to mention it again later. I would just, and also, of course, you can submit carbohydrates that I will call you guys. I would like to say hello to this group of people. I am so excited to see their faces. Jordan Morris, hello.
Hi, it's good to be here.
You look positively svelte.
Oh, thanks. I've been working on it. It's by design. I've been trying to svelte up a little bit.
I know. When we last talked, we discussed Dave's Killer Bread, the murderer's bread, and that you're...
I still haven't looked into that, by the way. Did Dave of Dave's Killer Bread really actually kill someone?
I think so. I feel
Why
like...
would he call the bread that then? That seems... I guess maybe there's the serial killer that wants to be caught, the one that leaves the clues for the cop. So maybe that's...
Yeah.
Maybe that's Dave.
Maybe he just left a trail of caraway seeds. I don't know. We gotta figure it out because people did write in, but I'm just forgetting now because I seem to have like a goldfish. By the way, is goldfish's memory, or it's like a fish's memory, is that a common phrase?
I think so. I think they have famously short memories.
Yeah.
Like how do they test that?
And before we move on, I just want to say you could add Dave of Dave's Killer Bread to that snowman meme and have it say, "Mr. Police, I baked you all the clues." Anyway, I'm glad we went back.
I don't know that meme. Let me say hello to everyone, and then let's come back and tell me what this meme is, because I just know the Bernie meme. That's the only meme I have time for. Alie Ward, fresh from being engaged, looking radiant.
Hey, congrats.
Fun.
Good job. I didn't want to interject, but I did recently interview an ichthyologist who said that goldfish, they can recognize you if you walk in a room. If you're the person that feeds them, they're like, oh, hey. So apparently they don't have great memories, but it's not like 3 seconds because they know. They're like, this one's got the goods. They're going to drop some weird bonito flakes in my tank. For reals.
So then, what about now? Do goldfish have a longer memory than other kinds of fish?
Probably not. Because you got to figure, they got to know, hey, don't eat this thing. It's poisonous. Right. Hey, you want to mate with this one. She's not your sister. So they gotta function, right? Right. They have to function.
Why? Why does everyone think they have such short memories?
I don't know. You never know. It's all it takes is like one headline. Remember when everyone thought octopuses were aliens? Who the fuck knows? You know what I mean?
Yes. And by the way, Daniel was beating the drum for a little while of like, octopus are like the smartest creature in the sea. It's like he was hired by the octopus board or something to promote octopi. And then finally I had heard enough. So I'm like, I'm just going to look this up. I'm going to look it up myself. Like, are they really smarter than dolphins? Sorry, what were you going to say, Jordan?
I was going to say, have you ever suspected that Daniel is maybe just like 10 octopuses stacked on top of each other?
I never have.
I don't know. I don't know how that would affect the marriage or the relationship moving forward, but you might want to check. Just open up the trench coat, and if it's 10 octopuses stacked upon each other, that might explain why he's so
Is he very
pro-octopus.
sticky? Do you have a hard time finding him in the house?
How sticky would you say he is?
I feel like
on a scale of 1 to 10.
He's like a 3 or something.
Okay.
But if I go to kiss him and it feels like a little beak, then I'll be like, aha.
Yeah.
And then I got to look for like 9 more of those. And then he is 10
Gross.
octopus.
Yeah.
Octopi.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I looked it up because I was thinking, are they really smarter than all the other than like dolphins or whales or whatever? And Alie, I don't want to offend you. I know that you love all creatures, but no, they aren't that great. Like I think one played with a pen or something. That's
Daniel?
the extent.
Wasn't there one for a while that was like predicting soccer games? Wasn't there, like
it was in an aquarium, and they'd be like, "Tell us who's gonna win." I mean, anything that can shapeshift though. It's pretty badass, you gotta
Yeah.
say. I mean, but yeah, they're a huge mushy head on 8 legs. Still pretty cool.
Well,
I mean,
cool.
there are days when I can't quite use a pen, so I'm down with it.
There was like an octopus like Netflix documentary, wasn't there? That
My
people got super
octopus
into.
teacher, and
Do you think that's where Daniel got all
Okay.
his
I
puss
think-
facts from?
I think he heard about it. I don't even think he saw it.
You're like, it was an assistant professor at a community college. So like,
right.
what the fuck ever? It's like, no, pretty good.
But when you say shapeshift, do you just mean like they're like, look, our legs are waves. Look, our legs are all now we're 4 over here, 4 over here.
Yeah. Imagine if you were just walking down the street, you saw someone you didn't want to talk to, and then you just squatted and you looked like a smart car. Same color, same texture, same shape, and the person walked right by you and you're like,
The fact that they change colors, that is something that is not really well known. Like if they fired Daniel from his job as head octopus spokesman and hired me, I would be wanting to push out the color thing because
Right.
chameleons are getting all the cred for that.
Thank you. Yeah, let's pivot with our messaging. Let's let's leave the soccer thing in the past. I mean, it's very European. We want to start building you up in America, so let's go to the color changing. Everybody
Right.
likes that.
everyone loves it.
Look at the popularity of like hypercolor T-shirts, of
Yes,
mood
they've never been hotter.
rings, of that lipstick that tells you your
Right.
mood, but it's the same like really bright pink on everyone. You guys, I have been remiss. What time is it? It is okay. We're 8 minutes into the episode, so it's really this is one of my better episodes. I would like to say hello to Tony Thaxton.
Hi. All this memory talk, and then you forget to introduce me.
I would almost
We know somebody's not 8 octopuses stacked upon each other.
No, but I might be a goldfish now that we know that they have a little bit of a memory. Tony, did you suspect that I wasn't going to remember?
I was starting to wonder. Yes, I was wondering.
Right.
'Cause it's been a bit, but it's all right. We got there. 8
Here you
minutes. I think it's been much worse than that before.
Thank you. Tony, how's your new friend? Wait,
He's great.
I'm sorry. I said wait because at the same time that I said that, Jordan's friend climbed into the frame, but that's Bug, right?
That is Bug, and yes, and thank you for calling her my friend. I don't like
Bug,
when
honey,
people
don't.
call her my daughter or my wife.
Your fur daughter.
No, she's not my fur daughter. She's just my good friend and roommate. We're close friends.
Okay.
Happen to
nude,
share an
though.
apartment, huh?
She is nude, so it's a little awkward for the rest of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, but I'm not uptight, you know? I'm not. Listen,
You're the
live
cool
and let
roommate.
live, baby. That's the Jordan way.
I have a very hairy nude roommate. She's wanting to choke her. She sneaks
Right.
up on me sometimes.
she loves to nap on the floor.
Speaking of furry roommates, Tony has a new friend that was revealed on my most recent episode. Actually revealed in a way, not exactly, I think, in the way that Tony had intended, because Tony was telling a whole story that was going to end up with us finding out that he has a new dog. But then I'd say like halfway into the story, the new guy walked down the hall and we could see his hall. And then Ken Reed's like, "Oh, I see a new pal."
Yeah, I didn't think about my camera placement first. I forgot I literally have one step going into my hallway, so that like that one step made it so that he was visible.
So how is the new guy?
He's great. He's so happy. He's just like so happy and friendly and cuddly and just weird. And he's great. He's been really fantastic. My only complaint is I don't remember if I said this before. He's not neutered yet, and I'm getting that taken care of in like a week and a half is the soonest I could get in. And so he really likes to pee.
The neutering will fix that?
Supposedly that helps quite a bit.
Because it's marking, right? He's marking his territory.
Yeah.
Has he peed on you?
No. He has gotten better in the last few days. Like he's only done it on the floor. He hasn't done it on me or anything. But
Hey.
yeah.
He doesn't want to mark you? Do you think he's not ready for that kind of commitment yet?
I don't know, because this dude, I will say, this guy's pretty obsessed with me. One weekend, he is like, he's been sleeping with me, and he sometimes decides to use my face as a pillow.
Oh, that's so cute! I love that.
But he won't pee on you. Typical man. Either put a ring on it or pee on it. Pick one.
Wendy used to, I would take these naps when I was pregnant with Elliot, and I would like get in position. Oh my God, we're looking at Tony's fat son. Oh,
Fun.
Oh my
Get
God,
out
that
of
is a
town.
marshmallow.
Oh, yeah. He's a hefty
They got in
dude.
a front end collision. That is a toasted marshmallow.
Yeah. He looks like a baby dinosaur.
Where did you score this animal? Because I feel like that breed. It's a Frenchie, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
How'd you get a Frenchie?
Well, I had one before with my ex-wife, and I loved him so much, and I really had been missing him. And so I just started looking, and I stumbled into a listing online. He had an owner that was just too busy and had no time for him anymore. He was working too much. And so I went and met him, and then this guy was like all over me within seconds. And I was like, well, I thought I was going to go home and think about it.
but what was the dog doing?
Nice.
Now, was this like a pet finder situation, a Craigslist, or do you not want to say?
In all honesty, it was a site that I had just, it was a Google search that led me to a site I'd never had heard of. But it wasn't Pet Finder, but it was something like that. Yeah.
Frenchies in my area.
Frenchies you want to meet. So anyway, I used to take these naps when I was pregnant with Elliot, and I would like get in position on the bed, and then Wendy would come up behind me and put her little chin on my neck. And I've never slept better. So I don't know how you feel about Bentley sleeping on your face, Tony, but I like it.
Well, it's very cute, and it will always at least make me smile, but he is such a loud snorer. So that is the downside of it.
He has half a windpipe.
Oh, I know. Like he's not he shouldn't be alive. Like
His face is an accordion. Like you just gotta live with it. But I imagine what better white noise machine than an actual white Frenchie in your face just snoozing away. What a love.
And then
a love bug.
Alie, you.
Yep.
So look, I just got to lay out. We have a lot of stuff to get to. I have a couple things I want to mention. We got to hear Allie's story. We got to find out what's going on with Jordan. But since we've been talking about dogs, you recently posted that you discovered that your dog, Grammy, was related to another dog, but I'm not familiar with this other dog. But I mean, she has her own hashtag. Fill us in.
She does. Yeah, we used Embark, and because we got this dog, and we named her Gremlin because she was very skinny and had these big ears. And I was telling Jarrett that I would give thousands of dollars in exchange for an envelope with her entire backstory. We were talking about like how much money, like what's your upper tier? And I was like, I would pay $5,000 to know where she came from, who I just like, it was killing me because she's 8. I'm like, where'd she come from? And so, rather we just paid like $100 and did a DNA thing and matched us to an immediate family member, which is either a parent or a sibling who lives down in Downey, who's very cute and is named Aria. And then we got another match that we may have found her grandmother, which is this really old, just endearingly crusty animal named Magda.
Magda. Did they give that dog the name before it became old? Because
Right.
that is the name of an elderly dog.
Was
You can't name a puppy Magda.
Right.
She was like a World War I nurse. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
She like survived the typhoid pandemic, but
I could see her just like you only see her through the window of her attic, and she's still wearing her wedding dress.
Magda Havisham.
It's Magda, the haunted dog,
You've nailed her vibe completely. But she's
a
just
Victorian ghost.
she's such a Victorian ghost. She's so. If you look up Magda the magical unicorn, that's like her hashtag, and she's very crusty. She's ancient, just a breathing fossil, and she was rescued only a couple years ago, also from like South LA. So we think that is Grammy's grandmother, and so wow, how much bang for the buck. So we just keep getting these things. Like you have like a half cousin in Idaho, but she's mostly Cocker Spaniel. Who knew? We thought that she was Ewok and Gremlin, had a saucy love affair.
What is Magda? Because she almost looks like a Chinese crested. Like
I
a
think
hairless.
that's just her crust.
A Chinese crested.
I think that's just like a systemic yeast infection that left its mark. So like, don't get too excited. But but she's all better now. And like the people who own her, they own a beautiful or a purposeful rescue, which rescues all these older dogs. And they also have a shop called Tiny Town Pets. And so they just take in these cases that nobody wants, and then they just like let them flourish. So it's a very happy discovery.
Well,
but yeah, Grammy's
nice.
She is aware that I don't have any cheese on me, and she's not playing.
Well, speaking of dogs, I have a little bit of an announcement for Wendy, my dog's avid followers. As people know, she's been on a diet for a while. It was Laura London, dog trainer, came on the show and just shamed me so much about how rotund Wendy had gotten. And my feeling at the time was like, look, they don't live that long. I don't want to make her uncomfortable, because we all know how uncomfortable it is to shed weight. Jordan, I think you could speak to that. You've been depriving yourself of carbs. And then
You're right. I'm going to eat some chips while we record. I'm going to eat a goddamn giant bag of wavy Lays. You're right, Allison.
oh no, this is going the wrong
We don't
direction.
live that long.
I mean, you just never know. So then
You never know.
She, I don't even know. It was almost magical. It was like a Jedi mind trick. The way she just it beat that way of thinking out of me and accused me of over loving her with food. And anyway, long story short, ever since that day, she has been on a diet of half a cup of food in the morning, a third of a cup in the evening, and she does not get to enjoy Daniel's. And we put her in the crate when we eat dinner, so she doesn't get to enjoy Daniel's dinner like before. She wouldn't even eat her kibble unless we put like chicken and cheese and just totally spruced it up. Like it was like a baked potato by the end. That's how much other food she was getting, and now she like begs for this nasty. I mean, I'm sure it's fine, but just plain kibble. So anyway, though. It's a long way of saying I hadn't weighed her in a while, and I was looking at her today and I was like, you know, she looks like she's getting a little chunky again. And then I weighed her and she weighs 19 pounds, which is like perfect for her. It's actually, I think, a pound less than what the vet had said, which is crazy that she looked chunky to me. I have body dysmorphia for my dog, I guess. But I mean, the last time I weighed her, she was like 24 pounds. So she has really, I mean, just kudos to Wendy. I feel like I should do a Monday show with her where I ask, how did she do it? And will she maintain it?
She's been so good. I think to celebrate, you should look the other way if she wants to get high and drive through Jack in the Box.
I know. She deserves. I know. I really need
the
to
cool
Simple
mom.
pleasures.
I need to be careful now that I don't go like, oh, well, goal achieved. So now we can like be a little loosey-goosey on giving her all the extra stuff that made her a chunky monkey before. So anyway, enough of that. Here's what I want to ask you guys. I have talked about on this show before, I have a little problem sometimes with closing the loop on emails. Like, I'll say like, oh, can you do the show this day? And then they'll write back and say yes. And then I assume that it's a done deal. Like I need to send that one more email to confirm. And then I don't. And, it's burned up till today. It had burned me twice, which I feel like in all the years I've been alive, that's really not that bad, but it was like a pretty intense burn. We were recording the show, and then in the middle of it, the door opened and a man walked in, and I was like, oh, and then I looked, and it was Jensen Karp, who thought he was on the show that day because I had not closed the loop. So I felt like a real asshole. There was that. And then one time with Dave Huntsberger, this actually wasn't that bad, but he's like, oh, I didn't hear back from you, so I assumed you didn't need me. And I was like, oh, I've done this again. And then today,
This is more than 2 times, by the way.
No, it was 2 up till today. Today's the 3rd. But I mean, This is over the course of years.
That's not bad.
I'm really trying to have my cake and eat it too. I'm trying to straddle the line of like, this is a real problem for me, but also it's not that bad, but it shouldn't happen at all. It should not happen at all. I feel like very frustrated.
No, this isn't bad at all. I'm impressed.
Okay. Well, so today
I'm impressed.
So I sent an email to 2 people and was like, hey, can you guys come on the show? Do any of these dates work for you? This was a while ago. And then one of them wrote back and said, any of these work for me. The other one wrote back and said, this particular date works for me. And then the other one was like, are the shows usually 2 hours? I'm like, no, they're less than that, And then I just assumed we were all set for that particular date. So then when I went to confirm, one of them was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put it on my calendar. And now I have something that's conflicting, And then I went back and looked at the emails and I wrote to her and I'm like, you know what? I think I forgot to close this loop. So I think this is actually on me. She wasn't putting it on me, but I think it might be. I don't know. This was a whole long way of asking, how do you guys avoid this? Because if I do this again, I will be very mad at myself. I cannot do this. I need to not do this.
I know, and I think I know what you're trying to avoid, and it's something that I get into a lot, and it's the email chain that never ends because everyone's constantly confirming. It's like, how about 8:00? Great, see you there. Cool, can't wait. Fun, sounds fun. Can't wait. And then you've got 9 emails of people saying yes.
Thank you. You're welcome. No, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So excited. Glad we finally found the time. And then it's just this infinite chain, and here's what I do. Here's what I send when I want to confirm, but I also want no more emails.
Okay, because it might surprise you that I don't have those kind of chain.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's not a problem I have. I have the other problem.
I feel that when I want to say I got this, we're good. Let's stop now. I just send the thumbs up emoji 3 times.
Oh, that's good.
And if someone responds to that, then they're insane. So, yeah.
What if they send back 4 thumbs up?
Oh, fuck! And then I'm like, Peach Lightning Bolt Santa, just trying to end the conversation frantically. Yeah, but I know what you mean. The other thing is no one's officially said yes yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that part of it for me is I always have my phone next to me and I check it all the time at weird hours. And so if in the middle of the night, it's not usually that though. It's like someone will write back and say, how about this date? And then I want to wait till a respectable time to write back with an email with more information. But then what I should do is be like, sounds great. I'll reach back out with details. That's what I need to do. It's crazy
That's
that I
a good
haven't
idea.
streamlined this. It's like,
Can I just say that I know that there are people listening to this that are screaming in their car or on a jog, just being like, Calendly. Just do the Calendly thing. There's a site where you just say, hey, when are you available? And someone picks a time and then they go, here. And then it puts it on your calendar.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
no one has to go back and forth. You say, hey, can you be on the show? Here are some times available. And then they just walk up like a marshmallow with a smush face and they pee on the date they want. And then no one has to put it in their calendar. There are people who I don't use it, but I respect people who do. And when someone's like, yeah, sure, pick a date, I'm like, oh, this just saved like 10 emails and so much confusion.
Because
so there are probably people out there who work for Calendly. This is not sponsored.
Maybe I should do this. My experience with Calendly has been like 2 years ago. So I was invited on a podcast and then they sent me the Calendly link and I was like, this is too many options. And then I never did anything. And then the podcast went away. So I killed the podcast all because I couldn't handle it. But it's 2 years later. So maybe it's come a long way.
I feel like more people use it these days. I think so. Or just get an assistant.
Well, that's the other thing. But I feel like I'm not at the needing I mean, I would love an assistant, but I think that if I can just tighten up my game just a little bit, I should be able to avoid this. Like what I need to do is I'm as a guest on a million other podcasts, they all seem to have this worked out where it's like you receive as soon as you say yes, then pretty much you receive a cut and pasted email with all your info.
Yeah, but you have 2 shows a week plus Patreon, and you have a Thursday show that has like 12 people on it. So most people have 1 person a week that they have to schedule, and you have 15.
Thank
you. You have the Ozo Motley. You have one of those bands that has 15 people in it.
This is the polyphonic spree of podcasts. But Ozo Motley, that was an amazing pull. That Ozo Motley, that's the band with Charlie Tuna, right? CHALI. The number 2 NA.
It's an Arcade Fire. You have an Arcade Fire amount of emails.
Ozo Motley played my college all the time.
Yeah,
and people loved them.
Me too. Yeah, I feel like Ozo Motley like probably only played colleges in the early 2000s. I feel like that was their thing.
Alie and Jordan didn't.
Yes.
Where did you guys each go to college? You both went to college somewhere nearby each other.
Santa Barbara.
UC Santa UC Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that has one word that's the same, and it's they're both in California.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I was a straight edge goth at the biggest party school in America. It went
straight edge goth, huh?
Yeah, I was like the one girl like moping around in black combat boots who didn't touch alcohol or weed, just being like, "I'm here for the biology labs." Yeah, it was good times.
And which one is the banana slugs?
That is UC Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're weird. We're weirdos. We're not
weird.
We're not square. Keep it weird. See you on High Street where we're gonna LARP and have a drum circle. Yeah, Santa Cruz is just a whole an entire college of drama kids who wants to freak out the squares. I love it. I say that affectionately, but it is a ridiculous place.
Very woodsy. It's very woodsy.
It's very woodsy.
I think if you've been burned by Calendly, you should think about getting an assistant. I have an assistant. I've had one for a year and a half. You know why? Because I kept missing appointments. And I was like, this is too hard and it stresses me out. And now I just CC her on things. And then just the problem magically floats off into the ether. And then I look on my calendar and I'm like, oh, I have a podcast today. Or like, yeah, it's the best money I've ever spent.
Actually got me an assistant, and she's naked. She loves to sleep on the floor.
I mean, she works 5 hours a week for me, and if that, and it's great to take that. I learned this. I did an economics episode that's coming out this week, and I learned that taking things off your plate that you're not good at is a strength, not a weakness. Not to say that you're not good at it. I'm just saying you have a lot on your plate.
No, I'm not good at it. That's true.
Okay. There's a lot.
Be kind to yourself, Alison. You have an entire Mighty Mighty Boss Tones to organize every week.
Wait,
I want to keep this big band thing going.
Let's dig into suddenly completely unable to pull up any bands, even though every band back in the day had all those extra people.
Gogoro Bordello. Remember them?
Oh, yes.
The Romany guys?
Yeah.
A Gogoro Bordello of podcasts.
Okay, let's dig into what this assistant does for you. First of all, does this person come to your house, or is this all over the computer?
Over the computer, but she comes by if I need something. Her name is Noelle Dilworth. She's wonderful, and she's a ballerina as well as an assistant. She assists a couple of friends of mine, but I would miss appointments because I would put things in my Google Calendar when I was like traveling in Ohio for work, and then they'd be in the wrong time zone. So I kept missing all these phone calls, and I just was like, I spent so much of my time scheduling everything. So my friend Cara Santa Maria used her, and she was like, you need a Noelle. And she was like, why don't you just get a Noel, the Noel? And so now my Noel is the Noel, and she helps us both. But yeah, she just my
Now, have you had one before, or is this the first Noel?
No, this is the first one.
Just checking.
It's the only Noel I've ever had.
First Noel.
But I was like, I don't deserve
Christmas
personal
humor.
I like it. I got it.
Year-round Christmas
I didn't get
humor.
that at all. I didn't get that first Noel
There's a song.
at all, and I'm really sorry. I loved it. I loved it once I got it.
Christmas in January. That's my thing.
I loved it.
I like it. It's
loved
timeless.
Thank you.
I mean, it's actually
Yeah.
very seasonal, but for me, it's timeless.
Right.
But the angels did sing, and they brought
Yes.
to me Noelle. She's great. Anyway, I CC her on things, and she deals with the can you not, and also if it's with your assistant, people aren't going to do a back and forth of like sounds great. They're like, they just go cool, and then she puts it on the calendar. And if shit changes, she changes my calendar.
And-
but it's the amount of shit that I don't have to think about now is great.
But now, will she say to you, "Hey, Alie, can you do this?" Like, then does it just switch this with her, or she just puts stuff on your calendar?
She just puts stuff on my calendar if I block off a day where I'm like, nobody bother me this day, or I'm going to be away this day. Yeah. So she just finds a time that's good for me. And if there's a conflict, she's like, hey, which do you want to do, this or this? And I'll be like, bail on that one. She's like, cool. It's great. I would have made so many mistakes if I hadn't had her. And then you think like, what's it worth? And you're like, yeah, it's worth whatever, a couple $100 a month or however much you need them. Yeah.
It's been suggested
nice.
to me before, and I've just always felt like, well, I don't have enough for them to do, but I hadn't considered the like 5 hours a week thing. To my mind, it was a real all or nothing, like, oh, I have a full-time employee for 4 emails or something.
Yeah. Sometimes they handle a couple different people,
Yeah.
and sometimes they're scheduled. Anyway,
All right, if there's a
and I've
second
taken
Noel
her on
out
for more
there.
hours now, though, and I've taken her on for more hours too because I'm like, oh great, you're so good at that. Help me do research, and it's totally
hey.
worth it. And yeah, that's all.
All right, Noels or similarly I only want holiday named potential assistants, but it
Carol?
doesn't have. Yes, Carol. Oh, what else is there? Yeah, Liberty,
Menorah.
Joy. Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be
Christ.
Christmas. It could Christ. Date. Honestly,
Arbor.
I'll take anything really. It doesn't even have to be a festive name, but I mean so hit me up. Okay, listen. Some mornings you wake up feeling ready to pull the covers over your head and go back to sleep. No judgment, of course, but let's make having the most comfortable sheets the reason why. Don't love your sheets? Brooklinen has. I do love my sheets because I have Brooklinen sheets, and I recently switched to a Brooklinen duvet because previously I had a different duvet, and now I got a Brooklinen duvet, and now I love it all even more. I just sleep better on them. They're the best. And Brooklinen was started by Rich and Vicky, who also tried to find beautiful home essentials that didn't cost an arm and a leg. And when they couldn't, they founded Brooklinen as the first direct-to-consumer bedding company. They work directly with manufacturers to make luxury available directly to you without luxury-level markups. And also they have great towels, and they have like all sorts they have comforters, pillows, towels, loungewear, and more. It's 2021. Do something nice for yourself to start the new year. To help you do that, Brooklinen has a special offer. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code BESTFRIEND to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more, plus free shipping. That's Brooklinen, BROOKLINEN.com, and enter promo code BESTFRIEND to get $25 off when you spend $100 or more, plus free shipping. Brooklinen.com and use promo code BESTFRIEND at checkout. I also want to tell you guys about Apostrophe. This episode is sponsored by Apostrophe, a prescription skincare company for people that are ready to take their acne seriously. Prescription acne treatment really works, but it's hard to get. You have to take time off work to see a doctor and sit in line at the pharmacy for your medications until Apostrophe. Apostrophe makes it easy to see board-certified dermatologists online. You get treated immediately and your medications are delivered to your home. You simply fill out an online questionnaire, take a few pictures, and then they get back to you with a customized treatment plan tailored just for you. The best part is Apostrophe offers topical and oral medications so you can treat your acne from the inside out and the outside in. They treat acne, but they also help you hit your other skincare goals like reducing redness, wrinkles, and even dark spots. So I think I mentioned last time, I thought, oh, now that we're all in our homes, this would be a great time for me to do Retin A, which that's the brand name I found out, but tretinoin. Am I saying that right? I think I am. I'm gonna hope I
You know
am.
what you're talking about.
Yeah. Which I heard, I had never used it, but I've heard it really is like a miracle cream for fine lines and or dark spots and all this stuff. And I would like to avail myself of that. So I was so excited when Apostrophe came on because it was super simple. I filled out a questionnaire. They asked how do you feel about potential side effects? And you can say, I would rather a more gentle formula with fewer side effects, or I'd rather like this, get this done, or I'm going to leave it up to the dermatologist. So they prescribed me tretinoin and I'm blanking on the name, whatever it is that bleaches your skin. And anyway, now I couldn't be more beautiful.
Your
can't
skin
believe
is glowing.
I mean, thank you.
Can confirm.
Yep.
Thank you. But I just don't have it in me to do it the traditional way. I just couldn't make an appointment and go to a dermatologist, but I still got to see one just by doing it online. It could not have been easier. Get $15 off your first visit with a board-certified dermatologist at apostrophe.com/bestfriend and use our code bestfriend. This code is only available to our listeners. To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/bestfriend and click begin visit. Then use the code bestfriend at sign up and you'll get $15 off your dermatology visit. That's apostrophe, apostrophe.com/bestfriend and use that code bestfriend to get your dermatology visit for $15 off. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring the podcast. Okay.
That's a good deal.
So, Alie, we need to hear about your news. Please fill us in.
Oh, that old thing.
Yeah.
By the way, when you started talking about how good your skin looks, which it does look good, that just made me go into my video settings and turn on the make my appearance better on the Zoom setting.
Well, honestly, I do have that setting going too. So while I do feel that the stuff is helping my skin, it also takes a little while so I don't know how much it's really working versus how much it's Zoom doing its thing.
I have
I don't know. When do you? Yeah, I don't know.
I have the make me look tired and hungover segment on mine.
Oh,
Setting.
yeah. Yeah, you should turn that down.
Now I'm turning it up. This is the real me.
No, everyone here looks good.
I think we all look good.
We all look
really
good. That's right. Considering that we're now almost, 10 months into this pandemic thing?
Oh, 11.
Yeah. 11. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So tell us, Alie. Let us share in your good news.
Yeah. So I have a fiance now. These days.
Is that how? Maybe I've only seen it written before. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
We all been saying it wrong.
I've been saying
I got engaged.
There's another one. I've been saying it wrong.
Oh my God.
So I guess it's just kind of cool. It's like I know what it is like to be better than a lot of people, and just to be valued and
happier.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I made it, because before, I wasn't really worth anything. No, it's very sweet. It came as quite a shock, actually. I did not see this coming, but yeah, I got a gem. I got a shiny rock, from a gentleman, asking me to have us not break up for a long time. And I was like, that sounds great. So yeah, this is, we've been on and off together for 10 years, but we met when he was 25. And if 25-year-old men, they're not something worth sticking around for too long. Just go pee on stuff, go do your thing. I'll talk to you when you're done with that. And so we went our separate ways for a while.
And then come back and sleep on my face and snore.
Pretty much. No castration as of yet.
It's on the table,
Tony,
though.
maybe
It's
you
on
need
the table.
You need to give him time.
Yeah, just let him. Yeah, listen, he's a young guy. He needs to figure some shit out.
I know. I guess I got to remember myself back then. I'm not doing
He
that
needs to
enough.
travel a little bit. Get his heart broken. That'll.
But yes, it was so sweet, and it was Christmas Eve, and
that's
we
great.
went to a public park where we got to know each other on our first date.
I must break in and say that whole story is available as a Patreon bonus episode when Alie came on and spilled her guts on my Patreon, and I loved it.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell that story again on your Patreon. That is a Patreon bonus story, probably not one for the masses. But yeah, so he took me there at midnight, and he had a special gemstone made into a ring. It's from Montana, which is where my dad's from, and it's got 2 diamonds from his late grandmother's ring. He asked her like on her deathbed. She gave her blessings. It was very sweet. And we both cried a lot. But it's really, I did not think that this outcome, I did not fancy myself a marriage or a fiance person. That wasn't something that I was like, that wasn't on any bucket lists of mine. Like I was like, I'm more concerned about like, do I have enough saved for retirement? What if there's a civil war?
Yeah.
Do we have enough dry foods in the pantry? Things like that. So
what if water becomes currency?
Pretty much, yeah. I was like, when it comes to future things, I don't always think that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was really, really sweet. It's just been really nice. Who knew? So yeah, it was quite special.
So
But
sweet.
the first thing I asked, I was like, yes, totally yes. And I was like, did you ask my dad? And he was like, nah, I was going to, but you're so independent. I thought maybe you'd get insulted, so I didn't. And so I was like, okay, pending. We have a pending yes. This is a yes with an asterisk. And so the next morning he called and asked my dad, and my dad said, well, I just think that's fantastic. It was Christmas. My dad was crying. So I was like, okay, it's a yes.
That's great.
It was very cute. And so given that it was like a Christmas where everyone's parents were on Zoom, my dad said it. My parents were like, oh, it saved Christmas. When he texted my dad to ask him a question, he thought he was going to ask him about the deck that we're building. And he was like, no, can I pork your daughter forever? Righto. So yeah.
For that deck, you're going to want to get some nice sealant. You're going to want to get some nice sealant to protect it from the rain.
So it was very sweet.
Were you in the room when he asked?
Oh, I was crying so much. Yeah, I heard him. I was like, do I listen? Do I not listen? He was like in the kitchen, and he was like, hi. Yeah, it was very awkward. And very cute.
Was he doing a thing where he's like, okay, I'm pretending like I haven't already asked you. As far as dad knows.
Oh, right.
He was
That's
first.
such a good question, because I was like, I don't know, because if you tell him that you already asked me, then is it even asking for a black? I don't know. And Jared was like, well, I don't want to start off by lying to your parents. It seems like really bad mojo to just swoop in and be like,
Good
hey,
instinct,
I
good
haven't
instinct.
asked her anything. So he's like, I got to be honest. So I was like, yeah, tell him it's pending. Tell him you have a pending yes. And so he told him the truth. Yeah. Yeah. It was very cute.
Oh, that's very
It was super
sweet.
sweet.
That's so
Yeah.
sweet. I love that.
Yeah.
And he said he chose the ring because it matches your eyes, right?
Yeah, he looked through a bunch of different sapphires that were the same color as my eyes, and he picked one, and then he found a better one. So he kept the other one and made the ring out of this one. But it's cool. He knows I like kind of funky stones and ethically sourced everything. So it was really sweet. It's funny too, because I just am not a person who like Pinterest's ring designs or anything like that. But I find myself finding a lot of meaning in it. Like, oh, he worked on this for so long, and it really meant something. You know, he wasn't just like, I don't know, I saw what was trending. So it was so kind.
And was there any moment where you almost discovered anything, or were there any close calls, or did it truly like catch you by surprise?
There was a close call. Like his mom was on speakerphone, and she was like, did you ask your sister about Chris? Chris is his sister's partner, and his sister is a ring designer. And so his mom was trying to use code, but for 3 weeks I was like, what's going on with Chris? What are they moving? Like I kept asking, like, what, do you ever find out what the deal with this? And he was like, no. And I was like, how are you so disconnected from your family that like you don't want to hear about I want to hear about what's going on with Chris? And I had no idea that it was just a big elaborate code. And I was like, what happened? Like, but yeah, so they almost let the cat out of the bag, but it was very, I feel like I should have like funnier stories about it, but it was just very sweet. I just wasn't expecting it, but I think that's the thing about quarantine and pandemic. Like if you can still hang with someone 10 months in of seeing them day in and day out and keeping the bathroom doors open while someone farts and stuff, like it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, you got to do some test farts first.
I've heard of farts so many times.
I decided I wasn't going to mention this on the show because I feel like Alie, I don't think you've been on the show before when this has come up, but Jordan and I have talked about this before. Like my concern that I'm like doing a classic Alison, which is like being a specific sort of a stereotypical version of me. And that
I'm crazy?
stereotypical version of me is someone who's always talking about farts. So I'm like, I'm not, they expect me to zig. I'm going to zag. But I'm sorry. I have to talk about what's happening. Have you ever had gas so bad that you almost lose respect for your spouse for sticking by you through it? Because that is what's happening.
Leave, pack a bag and leave.
That is what's happening right
Take
now.
Take the children and go to a place I'll never find them.
By
Wendy,
right now, do you mean like currently or like in this era? Like what? Give me a time frame here.
beginning this morning.
Wow.
Beginning this morning.
It's like-
Have you eaten
Yes.
a lot of? Okay, what have you eaten?
Okay, so I made an egg white scramble last night with some pre-diced red onions, and I think, and then I ate a few bites of beans.
Well,
think
that'll do it.
But
This is not a mystery.
I think
Pour a little
Dan-
black coffee onto that. Maybe just take a bite out of a head of.
Oh, and also I had some Fiber One.
Oh well.
Oh, baby. Oh, babe. That's your.
Things
yeah.
were stopped up. It's not much better today,
That's
though.
too much
so,
information.
Do you
so, so Daniel lovingly told me that he walked me outside and he said, I think I have to declare a moratorium on onions. And I said, I know, like I'm aware. And then he said, so Wendy is in our bedroom right now and he opened the French doors in there and closed the screens because he was worried that I was quote unquote, gassing our dog. We had to get some fresh air in there. Anyway, it is like, if it was anyone other than me, I would not be okay with it. It's like I just have a narcissistic tolerance for my own stench. But it's very intense. It's very like something's wrong.
To the point where your husband's having to have a conversation with you outside. He's having
Yeah.
to take you, like, let's step outside. Like Don Draper firing someone.
Yes.
He is. He seems to be, worried about the welfare of all of your children.
I know. But he's been very gentle. Like this morning.
It's a developing situation, though. I will say that, right?
Sure.
This is a developing situation.
There's been a lot of like.
Do you guys? Do you guys have like scented candles around?
Oh, yeah,
Can
yeah.
you just light a?
There's already a
candle?
couple being lit, and he joked that the candle was sweating. And I was like, "Hon," he's like, "You're just asking it to do a lot of heavy lifting." But there's been
Just
a lot
simple
of
candle.
until I really like outed myself as the supplier of this situation. There was a lot of like, because we have two kids who, and there's diapers
and a dog too.
yeah.
So I mean, you do not have to cop to those smells.
Yeah, I
Alison.
know.
I mean, I listen again, like Allie's fiance who wanted to tell the truth to her
Right.
dad. Maybe you also want to have that kind of honesty, but if you don't, I support you in blaming the babies or the dog.
Oh, God. Yeah, blame the babies.
So what happened
Other
was,
people have, like, slings of shit taped to their bodies. Like, your babies are,
Right.
diapers are shit hammocks. Like, you have so many outs here.
right? So
My
we're,
favorite Jimmy Buffett album, by the way. It's the one death metal album he did. Shit hammocks.
So we're sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden, Daniel just leans over to Elliot, like behind Elliot, and goes. And then I said, "Do you smell something?" And he said, "Yes." And so that was. But anyway, he said to me, which I think this is so loving. He said, "Hey, I have those days too." But that was like at like 11:30 a.m. and we're now many hours into this situation.
Wow.
It's pretty otherworldly.
Where are we at currently?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like, it does the room
Like
that I'm
when
in
was
smell?
when was the most recent? When was the most
Has it
recent
happened during this?
deployment?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't actually.
Okay.
The most recent was okay, but we're probably due. But don't worry for anyone at home who's forgetting the setup. They're on Zoom, so it's fine. I mean,
Oh,
unless
I
it's
can smell it over Zoom.
well, see, now this is bringing me back to fourth grade. But let's see. Okay, it's 5:30. We start. I would say like maybe like an hour and 15 minutes ago, there was a little bit of offloading in the ones that he had to let Wendy have some fresh air. No, maybe there's like a while after that,
Are
too.
you like writing these down like contractions? Like, are they
I should
coming,
be
going like a lightning storm, like counting between when you rip, when you hear, and when you smell? Like, I think there should be like one.
I need an app for this.
You need to, Allison, you need to keep a fart journal.
I do.
Get yourself a leather-bound fart journal.
Yes,
write in it with a quill.
I really do. Well, thanks, guys. Have you lost
Fiber One?
Yeah.
Beans and Fiber One. Like, you might as well just be drinking fog juice, like doing a fog juice enema. Like, what are you thinking?
It smells like a Halloween store in here.
Well, it wasn't like a whole serving of beans, and it wasn't a whole serving of Fiber One.
You were just grazing on these.
Yeah.
On these.
Yeah, these yummy.
Yeah, I know those meals. You don't like have what you just have bits and bops of what's around.
Daniel was having beans.
Okay.
I'm here, and so I took a bite of them. What is that? Is anyone else hearing like a little ding? It almost sounds like a metallic sound in the back.
Yeah,
like,
that's
ding.
us. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay.
We have like a, one of those things that you'd have on a deli that lets you know someone's here to get some corned beef. We have that in our house. Sorry about that. Someone's here to get some corned beef.
Right. Yeah, Alie.
They took a number though.
Alie needs to portion out a pound of potato salad. Can we hold?
Someone wants samples.
Yeah.
And then the Fiber One, I mixed like half a serving into my sugar-free tapioca treat that I had.
Oh, what's in the sugar-free? Because if there's
yes.
any kind of erythritol, if there's sugar alcohols, there's your culprit. If it has a tol at the end, then that is fog.
But
juice.
I feel like it's also I feel like the onion, because everything else is like sort of, the difference is the onions. I want to blame those.
Yeah, blame the onions.
I mean, it does sound like a perfect storm, though. I mean, I don't know if it's
It really
all the
is.
onions.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
I just realized it. And I hope everyone is loving this discussion. I realized what it is. The Fiber One and the beans are like the gunpowder. And then the onions are sort of like the wax melt that you put in your wax warmer. The onions are just giving it a certain olfactory quality.
Sure.
And then the other stuff and the erythritol is what's like launching it.
Blasting it out.
What the fuck?
This is truly a situation, though. We talk about the silver linings of the pandemic.
Sure.
Because if I were in public, I couldn't be in public right now unless I hated everyone around me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you'd have to call in smelly to work.
Yeah.
You'd have to be like, not today.
Right.
Trust me.
In a post-vaccine world, are we all going to have to be more conscious about our farting? We probably will.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've all been farting with impunity. So, like, late summer or fall or whenever it is that we can all start getting out there, we are going to have to mind our sphincters.
Y'all, though, but if in a post-pandemic society, we're probably going to be wearing these masks for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So we
Get
can
away with quite a bit.
have a little leeway there. If everybody's still wearing the mask, you can.
You know what
fart
I
a
did
little more.
today? In terms of smelling fresh, I was wearing a mask to walk the dog, and there was a lavender bush starting to bloom, and I took a little sprig of lavender, put it in my mask.
That
What a look I had.
is
That's a
so
treat.
smart.
That's a treat.
It was lovely. So if you have some herbs around, shove them in your mask and put them in your mask hole. It's
Should
real
I
nice.
should I just put like a rosemary sprig in my underwear?
Yes. Right in the crack. Tuck
Right.
it right in there like a bookmark.
Just stuff them with honeysuckle.
Yeah.
And someone would be like, did we get potpourri?
When is the appropriate time for us to begin minding our sphincters?
We should probably start. I mean, obviously, I think there's a lot of different opinions as to, when we'll return to normalcy. A lot of people saying a lot of different things. But I mean, I'm an optimist, so I'm going to start now. I'm going to start today.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you ask Daniel, he would say no.
Let's start now. Is the sphincter involved in farting? Am I using that correctly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what is fun, though, is you have a sphincter on your face.
Is it your mouth?
Do I?
Yeah, your mouth is a sphincter. Too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know.
And I know that
goes like
like
this.
You mean Jordan specifically, right?
Jordan specifically, yeah.
Yeah, you got a sphincter on you, pal.
I know that if you have acid reflux, sometimes it's because your sphincter the sphincter
Oh, yeah.
that like at the top of your stomach, right? Or in your
Yeah,
throat
your
or somewhere.
whole body. You got a big goopy tube that starts at your mouth and ends in your butthole, and it's a rosary of sphincters. so exciting.
How many sphincters does the average body have?
Oh
I
my
had
God,
no
good
idea.
question.
That's great. You've got your mouth. You have
Right.
your esophageal. You have your pyloric, which is at the
I've heard of that
end
one.
of your stomach into your intestines. You have one from your small intestine to your big intestine. And then you've got one, I think, from your big intestine to your cecum. And then, so you've got like at least probably 5 to 7 sphincters
Wow.
just cruising around your body, you guys.
So
Just-
sphincter. So
just
sphincter is a
tying things off.
shape, right? It's a description. Am I parsing that right? Is that it's just
Sure.
a description of a shape?
Yeah, it's like a band of muscle that closes something off, like a mouth or a butthole. Yeah, it's a gate. It's like a slow down a second. You know what I mean?
This is
Is what
great.
that is.
I want
Yeah.
when I pass on, which I hope is not for a very long time, I want my
Stay with
sphincters made into charms.
Oh, right.
All of
so
them.
Your loved ones can carry a bit of you with
Yeah.
them.
Like my mouth on one ear and my butthole on
a
another. Yeah.
And then
Yes.
when one
Yes,
of your
like
kids
your
needs to get
diamonds.
engaged, they can
Yeah.
ask you on your deathbed
Right.
for
Yeah.
a piece of your
Hell yeah.
sphincter to give to their betrothed.
Yes.
This was my grandmother's,
that actually was my grandmother.
right? If you sniff it, you can still smell the fiber one.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, I know. It's okay, guys. 2021.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be just fine. Isn't that cute? We're like, once it's January, everything's going to be great.
And then it
mean-
was.
It was.
I mean,
I
a
keep
real rocky
thinking-
start, but I feel like it's better
Sure.
now.
It gets better. It's getting better. I thought that this thing would last like 2 weeks, and I thought I'm going to be so refreshed. I'm going to be so organized. My whole house
Right.
is going to be so clean. I'm going to get on a schedule, and I am just shocked by what a mess I still am. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know how it happened.
We had a to-do list and
yeah.
nothing has gotten crossed off, but things have been added. Not by us, by Daniel's mother-in-law who was in town. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, she's added a couple. I mean, they're good things. We should do them, but it's just grown. And now I'm just like a super disgusting human being, as evidenced by the last 10 minutes of fart talk.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not improved as except my skin might be better, but I'm not better.
Yeah, I've hit like a new level of just not wanting to do anything, not caring about anything. I was doing okay for a while. Like it sucked, but I was, making myself do the things, and now it's getting a lot harder to get off the couch.
Yes.
I saw
Jordan, are you
some-
having that?
Yeah. I mean, meh, meh, meh.
You're like, this is the best time of my life. I've ever been
Yeah, I'm
richer,
doing great.
prettier.
Yeah, I think I'm doing okay in some areas and not okay in other areas. I think as we mentioned, I think I'm doing a pretty good job of sticking to like diet and exercise stuff, and that's been fun and rewarding, and doing a little meditation. So yeah, I am insane. So this could all be happening in my mind. I'm doing a podcast. And I hit myself in the head with a hammer a couple times. But yeah, I would say that I've taken steps in many directions, some forward, some back. So yeah, but I'll go ahead and give myself some credit for doing a couple things for self-care that I think have worked out pretty good.
How you really do look svelte. I mean,
Oh, thanks. That's all I want anyone to say all the time.
girlfriend, I get it.
Start saying it.
How much have you lost?
Like 25 pounds.
And
last
this
time I
is
checked.
wow. And this is by cutting out carbs, pretty much, or by
everything. Exercising a lot and
Yeah.
just watching carbs. And this is kind of interesting. When I was kind of looking at stuff to cut out, I was like, well, I mean, alcohol. Everybody says alcohol, but I'm like, I got this fucking pandemic thing. I don't know how that's going to happen. And I really quickly realized that I do not like drinking alone. It sucks. It fucking sucks. And I'm like, well, end of the day, time to make myself a meh, meh, meh. And then I did, and I'm like, I feel bad and fucking bummed. And I like drinking. I like drinking a lot. I totally like miss bars, and I miss I miss tap beer and craft cocktails and you name it. I miss it. But I was really shocked at how much I did not like drinking alone in my house or like Zoom happy hours. I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
It really caused me to go down a doomed hole. Like, a drink and a half in, and I'm like, well, I don't know. End of society, I guess. Like I really got doomed fast when I was drinking. So that was kind of a nice thing to discover while I was trying to like change my eating habits, is that like I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about this drinking thing because I don't want to do it really. But that is also, but then that got replaced with I don't know if anybody here is sober or has like done a dry January or anything like that, but that need to drink, when you get rid of the drinking, the body still wants that sugar. So, I've become a sweet boy. I have become such a candy cakey sweet boy. I just want cheesecake and ice cream all the time.
Yep, me too.
So that's
but
been
also
the thing.
the alcohol.
Yeah. Can I have both? Can I dunk the red velvet cake into the whiskey, sponge it up? Ooh, actually, that sounds good. Note to self. That was a tough. That was a kind of a tough lesson that I'm glad I learned early on, is that I'm like, oh, okay, like the booze is not self-care. That's the opposite. Don't do it. So,
That is good.
Yeah. Anyway.
And what have you been doing for exercise?
So like outdoor pools are open here. So there's a couple of like municipal pools that'll let you reserve a lane ahead of time. And so, I know like when Burbank opens up its reservations and when Culver City opens up its reservations. So I reserve a lane. So I try and try and swim, 4 times a week. And then on the days I'm not swimming, I run, which is something I had never done before. I got one of those running apps. I got Couch to 5K.
Oh, yeah.
You guys. So I thought I would hate running, but I actually kind of like it. The playlist making part of it really kept my interest. Like making a new playlist every run, like really made it fun. So I do those things.
What are you listening to? Because I want to know like because that's half the battle with running, is having a good playlist.
Yeah, I know. Should I get the phone? Should I say what the current playlist is?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll get the phone.
You should he should make Spotify playlists that people can just follow.
Okay.
I will say, when I was running the most, I was listening to a Decemberist rock opera album that was the perfect length for like a 5 or 4 mile run, like 47 minutes.
Yeah, trying to get the length right is fun.
You've got to get
That's like a fun little puzzle.
I didn't know you were a sometimes runner, Alie.
I used to run so much. I used to run like maybe 4 or 5 miles, like 3-4 times a week. But the Hazards of Love by the Decemberists is 47 minutes long, and it's a rock opera that like starts slow and then it like hits a crescendo, and it has this really weird narrative about like a witch and a half deer boy. So you're like listening to an audiobook as you're running, but it's like the perfect like 47-minute long like. Anyway,
is that a real Decemberists album, or are you making fun of me?
I swear to God, it's a real thing. It's a rock opera. Becky Stark is on it from Lavender Diamond. It's so good. Anyway, I want to hear what's on yours.
Yes.
Okay, so the current playlist, Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher, Jackie Wilson, the song from Ghostbusters 2. Against Me, Black Me Out, I Don't Want to Grow Up, Ramones. Oh, Tenacious D doing Time Warp from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Tightrope, Janelle Monáe, Valerie, Amy Winehouse. Me First and the Gimme Gimmes doing Goodbye Earl, kind of a skate punk version of the Dixie Chicks song Goodbye Earl. Beyond Belief, Elvis Costello, Yeah, I'm a White Guy. This band called We Are the Union, A Better Home. A cover of the Ramones song Pet Cemetery by a band called Starcrawler. Very good. Chaos from Within, Bad Religion. Go Your Own Way and Dreams, back-to-back Fleetwood Mac. And then we finish it off with We Built This City.
Oh my God. Do you do it on Spotify? Are you going to make these available for folks?
Oh, I do. I use Apple Music because that's the one that links with Couch to 5K. But if anybody wants it, I'll put it out there if I get enough requests. I'll tweet my kind of embarrassing running playlist.
No, that's good. Are you kidding?
I like
That's
that.
awesome. It really does make such a difference. I would know people that would go running listening to podcasts, and I'd be like, I need something that's like a beat of a
Yeah,
drum.
that seems
I'm
insane to me. I love podcasts, but that seems crazy.
Yeah, I need like White Zombie. I need something to push. I literally do listen to White Zombie
Right.
sometimes. when I'm
You need to
dead.
dig through the ditches and burn through the witches. We know. What is running, but
Skinny
digging through the
puppy or
ditches.
bust.
Yeah.
I can't run. That's what I listen to when I do the exercise bike. I cannot run. I used to be able to run a little bit on a treadmill. Like I remember I got up to like 5 minutes and I was like, look at me go. But I don't know. I just find it painful.
I don't have boobs, so that helps. I don't think you see a lot of people like running a couple laps around the reservoir who have actual knockers.
Right.
So
but I don't really have actual knockers, but I've got thighs that knock. I've got thigh meat.
It's not just boobs that can knock. I have my sphincters knock.
That's right. They just
Sometimes.
jangle like a bunch of wooden beads.
Yeah.
Let's do some just me or everyone. I want to take a moment to tell you guys about my Amazon store, which I'm very, very excited about. I have spent so much time curating my different lists in there. These are products that I use, recommend, like Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen, Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. You can look at the podcasting gear I use, makeup I recommend, beauty stuff, home stuff, food. I have Daniel's Corner. I've got stuff for preschoolers, stuff for toddlers. I feel like I'm missing something, but the vacuum that Alie turned me on to, I've now put in my store, and the candle that Jackie Johnson was talking about last week, that's there. All sorts of fun stuff. I've got to stop saying all sorts of fun stuff. So it's all sorts of great stuff. Amazon.com/shop/Alison Rosen. Okay, let's do some just me or everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
Okay. Megan says, I feel like nowadays young adults are more self-aware of the fact that they lack life experience / don't have it all figured out yet. When I was that young, I thought I knew everything and had no clue how clueless I was. When and why did this change? I've spent a lot of time thinking lately about how clueless and also entitled I was as a young person. So if they have more self-awareness now, kudos, because I certainly didn't.
Well,
Yeah.
the internet, like you can. We grew up with a vending machine of information, and they have like the Caesar's Palace buffet of information. So you start to realize, like, ugh, I don't know what I want, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right. What were you guys? Were you young jerks ever?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I was totally a young jerk. Yeah, I know. And I something that I think about that, and I don't know a lot of young people. I don't interact with very many, but
Legally, you're not allowed to? Or?
yes, I can interact with them from a certain distance. 6 feet away, like Dr. Fauci says.
Well played.
Thank you. The impression I have of today's youth is that they are like less likely to put themselves into like a group and like I'm goth, I'm metal, I'm this. Like I think that was maybe something that our generation did more of. I don't exactly know why I think that. Probably because of the information buffet, is that it's more, like it's easier to like, have a week where you're super into classic rock and then a week where you're, super into science and then, another week where you're into Russian literature. So it's like, it's easier to like get a new obsession. But yeah, I think I kind of look at the modern young person and I'm like, oh, that's great that your tastes are probably more divergent than mine were. Like I kick myself a lot for not being into Hanson. Like every time I hear a Hanson song, I'm like, Hanson rules. And I like hated them when I'm like, fucking Hanson, fucking boy band. And like every time I hear Hanson, I'm like, these guys are great. I should have gone to see them at a county fair or wherever it was that Hanson played. I still like, I think about that. I'm like, man, all the joy that I lost out on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think that something fit into my subculture.
Right. I feel like we were afraid of being made fun of for being lame so much. Is that a concern for young people these days? Young people, are you afraid of being thought of as lame? Let us know.
I feel like the internet culture forces you to be much more humble than maybe previous generations because the entire world can dunk on you in a literal instant.
Yeah.
That's such a good point. Yes.
We had to we had to have individual people come up and dunk on us in person. But here, anyone can own you and roast you so fast. So you better be probably all kinds of humble.
Right. Like if I do a bad post, then like by tomorrow, Chrissy Teigen could be making fun of me to 3 million people. No one wants that.
Nobody does.
Chrissy Teigen's good side.
Cindy in Spain says, when a friend posts something, I always wait a couple hours before liking it. I don't want them to know how much time I spend staring at my phone.
Yep.
I don't. Sometimes I will like immediately, and then I'm like, oh fuck, how? It's less with a like, but it's more a comment. I'm like, how fast? Or no, I know. Sorry. Can we just cut out the last minute? Not really. I am losing it. I know what it is. It's someone comments on my post and then I like it almost immediately. That makes me feel like, oh, it looks like I'm just sitting here like watching it come in, which I am.
Just watching the tide of affirmations.
Yeah, exactly.
Just stare it out at the sea of likes. No, I do get that. Yeah, sometimes someone will post a comment and I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to reveal that I'm still here on this post. Being like, yes, you guys.
What did this person say? Yeah,
right.
This.
Yeah, but I am just like a like cannon. My thumb is just like ba-bam, 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 ba-bam. If I scroll past something and I don't like it, I feel like, wow, what's wrong with me today? Like, why am I such a bitch?
Why are you so withholding?
Right.
Yeah, I feel like everyone, and it's really funny too because like I will have huge deadlines and enormous things that I should be getting done off my to-do list that have real life consequences. But I'm like, well, I have to keep scrolling and liking people's stuff so that they know that the picture's nice. And I'm like, what is wrong with my priorities? Like, I just am horrible at that. So yeah, I feel like just a boom, boom, boom barrage of hearts.
I mean, I do like an Alie Ward like, though, just so you know. It is being received well
Feels
and
good.
appreciated. Yeah.
If I see it, I like it. That's how, because I like, if I follow
Feel
you,
less good about it now.
Yeah,
but-
now it's
No,
you're
you
kinda
put up great
taking away a
things.
little of the zhuzh, but
I watched when I was watching Daniel mention your encounter with the millipede, and I laughed. So I think that's why you have such bad farts. Is because last night, I don't know if you guys know this, but Daniel saw a millipede crawling on their bed, and he saw it, and it went straight into Alison's butthole. I think that's why you have bad
well,
farts.
there you go. I think that's the culprit.
That's right. It's trying
You
to
should
get
have mentioned
back
that
out.
up top.
I don't know why that cracked me up so
I laughed
much.
very hard, and I
It was
just
so
like, no.
absurd. Thank you. I will tell him.
That's the issue. It's not the onions, baby.
It's the millipede. Tony, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to ask, do you guys, after you post like an Instagram post, do you then click on it to see which of your friends have liked it?
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes.
I try and give it a little space to like accumulate the likes. I'm like, okay, like if I don't look at this thing for an hour, I'm going to come back to all these great likes.
Yeah.
But I don't always wait that hour.
Oh yeah. I'll periodically check it. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm looking for out of that, but I will every single post I will do that.
That I don't look at as much as I just look at I look to see the comments. I mean, but I don't read comments, but sometimes I look at those.
You don't read them, you just look at them.
I mean, I read them, but they don't go in. I don't look at the likes as much, though. I didn't even post, the top 9 thing at the end of the year? I didn't even post mine this year because every single thing on it was not from this year.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Maybe I should have.
Yeah, I didn't
actually.
post one either because I knew it was going to be the same way.
Okay, Greg B says, remember when Tom Hanks played the alcoholic uncle on Family Ties? Sometimes I mentally catalog what he'd drink from my pantry to get buzzed. This is hilarious.
Yes. This person is not alone. I poured some vanilla extract into a coffee and I thought, Uncle Tom, thanks. He'd be drinking this up right now.
Yes.
I don't remember this. I
remember it so well.
He put a screen grab and it's Tom Hanks holding vanilla, but I don't know how well you can see this, Jordan. Can you?
So wait, so the idea is that this Tom Hanks character would like drink things that had a mild amount of alcohol to get a buzz, like mouthwash or something?
Yeah, but vanilla extract is like a lot of alcohol. It's like a tiny, but you
I
only
didn't know
use.
that.
Yeah, it's like quite a lot of alcohol. So the whole thing was like
35%.
Yeah, he was recovering, and it would be like, what do I got? What do I got? I think Betty Ford did that too. I think she drank mouthwash too. There's quite a bit of alcohol in it.
I know. That seems like that could either be very funny or tragic. Was that like a very special episode, or were they playing that for laughs?
It was a very special episode, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
The very special episode. That's something kids these days don't have.
They don't have enough of.
There was also
They just have life.
right. The ultimate this whole past year has been a very special year. There was also an episode where one of Steven's work friends, maybe, or was it one of Elise's coworkers, like harassed Mallory, and that was a very special episode. But I feel like maybe that was an uncle too. I can't quite remember. There was a lot of very special episodes of Family Ties, and I miss very special episodes.
I know. Now we just have GoFundMe's for other people's medical expenses. That's just America.
Okay. Virginia Nichols says, when I'm sloppy typing my password in and the computer accepts it anyway, I worry that it's not really checking that it's correct. Hashtag
Computer's like, that's close.
Yeah, I know.
That's close to their childhood pet's name.
It is weird when that happens.
I can't say I've had that concern. I've been surprised by it, but I didn't think like that it was just letting me slide.
Okay, I have a question that maybe we shouldn't even be disclosing publicly. But when you find out that there's been a data breach and now your password may be vulnerable, do you instantly change it like you're supposed to? Have you had this happen to you?
I have been having a lot of password frustration lately. In that I am so frustrated by the amount of things I have to make a password for.
Yeah.
Like the other day, I was trying to schedule a meeting, and someone was not using Calendarly. They were using like Doodle or something. It was called something dumb like that. It was called like Pewpee or something. And I saw the links like tell me what dates you're available on Pewpee, and I got so mad. I'm like, I have to make a fucking Pewpee password now.
I know.
Is it case sensitive? How does Pewpee do it? Do they need a symbol in there? And I am so mad at passwords and how many I have to create that. Kind of recently, I think Bonobos, the clothes company Bonobos, sent out a your data may have been breached, and I was just like, fuck it, and deleted it. So I don't know. I might be. I might be, opening bank accounts in China now for all I know, but I just couldn't do it. I have password exhaustion.
Yeah, if I have to make an account for something, it really makes me go like, how badly do I want whatever this is?
Right. How badly do I need Peacock?
I know. That'll happen though.
What the fuck's on here?
Because all of our accounts like Netflix and all that, it's Daniel's name and his password, and usually we just stay logged in. But if I'm watching and I have to log in, then I'll just be like, I don't need to watch it because it's too hard to figure. I'm the laziest human being ever,
especially if it's not logging in on the computer. Like if you have to log in like on a PlayStation or the Apple TV or something. Yeah, it's so annoying.
With certain companies, when there's been a data breach, they will offer you a year of credit monitoring in exchange, which feels like. So I feel like I've gotten like offers for like I'm so up to my ass and neck in credit monitoring. I have one. I'm signed up for one. I don't need more. But that's how many breaches there have been. What is going on, people? Get your shit together.
I know.
Thank you.
Yes.
Too many passwords. That's the problem.
It's like medical companies. Like, I got this letter from the fertility clinic saying, I don't know if it was from them or from someone like above them, but the computer software system that a lot of them use was, I don't know, leaked or breached or exposed or whatever. And that's I don't know, whatever. I just feel like seems like it should be a humongous fuck up when your social security number and your name and all that gets leaked, but then they're just like, oh, sorry. Oops.
Don't freak out. But...
Okay, don't hate me, but
yeah. You're totally going to laugh. You're totally going to laugh. This is crazy. But
okay.
Russian data farm has your checkbook.
Cho to Joy says, I dreamt that I had a great idea for Just Mirror Everyone and couldn't remember it when I woke up. Just Mirror Everyone. That's everyone, I think.
Sure. I'm constantly dreaming about Alison Rosen's recurring segments.
I mean, maybe it's not you.
Snapchat dream the other day.
Maybe it's not you, but I feel like it's a lot of people out there. I know that I am I'm always telling myself I don't need to write stuff down. I'll remember it. And then I always, like even a second later, I can't remember it because of my fish memory. Bring it full circle. You guys, this was such a fun show. Thank you so much for joining.
Of course. Thanks for having me back. I feel like it's been so long.
It's been way too long.
Way too long. Part of that I was like, oh, great. I'm finally going to have so much free time with the pandemic. And then I just managed to figure out new ways to waste time.
I know, but now you have more time. So don't get busy because I'm going to really this is the dish towel that is Alie Ward. That came out really wrong. This is it's a fancy, this is the a tea you know
towel.
What I'm saying? Yeah, this is a fancy tea towel and I'm just going to wring it out and I'm going to get all the last bits and dregs of Alie Ward until she's like, I have to go away for another year.
Send your Calendly link to my Noel.
I gotta do
my Noel.
I gotta do that. I just said I gotta do. Maybe that's my new thing I say. I gotta do.
That's
if Allie's a tea towel, can I be a scrub daddy?
Yes.
Okay. As seen on Shark Tank.
Explain to me the scrub daddy thing because someone actually sent us some scrub daddies and I have them under my sink.
Was it Jackie Michelle Johnson? Because she's obsessed with scrub daddy.
It wasn't, but I saw one in her story recently, and I was like, I forgot that I have scrub daddies.
She loves.
I don't have any issues with an anus ride.
Wait, play that again.
I don't have any issues with an anus ride.
With an anus ride. Yes. What's the brilliance of the scrub daddy?
It's like a sponge with a little face and a funny name. I don't exactly know how it's better than a typical sponge. Maybe it's easier on the pans, but it's like a fun sponge with a little face.
It gets softer in warm water and then it gets scrubbier in cold water, I think, is the deal. From what I understand. I only learned this from Jackie Michelle Johnson. I think you should not use it on your face, though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that her brand merges. That doesn't align with skincare.
No, that's part of Jackie Michelle Johnson home.
Yes.
Next time she comes on, I'm going to have to ask her about the scrub daddy then. I would like to say welcome and hello to my new Patreon people, and I have some updates. Mona M has signed up for an annual subscription. Oh yeah, I should have announced. If you want to sign up for my Patreon and you're interested in a deal, I have annual subscriptions and you get 2 months free. So it's 12 months for the price of 10. You can't afford not to unless you don't want to, and then you can afford it. That's fine. Daylin L also signed up for an annual subscription. Joseph A increased his subscription, and welcome to new patron Melissa. I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention, but I can't remember what it was. Alie, where can we I have to take a moment to say, Tony, could you play Gal Chat?
Yeah.
The short one.
Gal Chat.
Alie, your makeup looks so pretty. Were you doing something on cam earlier? Or is this just your everyday look?
No, I put on makeup to see you.
I love that. That makes me, it looks so good. What do you use as your eyeliner?
I use Almay. It's like the Almay liquid liner, and then I use a wet Q-tip to sort of get it off the areas it shouldn't be. And I use Makeup Forever HD stick, and I use a beauty blender because Jackie Michelle Johnson told me to get one.
I started beauty blendering. Wait, HD stick, that's your foundation?
Yeah, that's a foundation. And I put it on just to see you. I didn't shower today, but I did put things on my face. I showered last night, though. It's close enough.
Oh my God, showering last night and then today is too much showering.
It's too much showering, you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to look good because I missed you.
Well, you really did hit that nail on the head because you look beautiful.
Oh,
so you look so beautiful that I was like, certainly you had to be camera ready for something earlier. And it turns out it's just me, and that makes me feel wonderful. So thank you.
Just you. And I just missed you. So that's it.
Thank you. I mean, everyone, drink up Allie's look.
I brush my teeth too.
I mean, they look so white as ever. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen, and you can see Jordan's hat. You can see Tony's dog. You can see there was something that Alie held up.
Oh, here's my ring.
Your ring. I know something. I knew it was something. Yeah, the ring. Alie, where can we find you? What should we look out for, etc.?
I host a podcast called Ologies. It's a different ology every week. This week's is economic sociology. We talk all about finances and how to not freak out about money in the future and what Gen Z does about money. And all these things about economics that are like, what? And it changed my life. In fact, it led partly to my engagement. So you have to listen to that to learn why. What? I know.
What a tease.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
There was I did this interview a couple weeks before I got engaged, and it changed the way that I thought about my relationship and about like commitment and stuff like that. And it was talking to two economists. Go figure. So yeah, that's out this week. I'm working on it right now.
Got to listen to that. Quick sidebar to say, I feel this is a new camera that I'm using, and I feel like I'm like it's overexposed and I need to adjust it. So if anyone watches this, it's a little bit glowing. It's like blind. I am glowing, and like not necessarily in a good way. Jordan, where can we find you?
I do a podcast. It's called Jordan Jesse Go. It's a chat show much like this one. Alison, you've been on. Alie, you've been on.
Yes.
We got to have you back. It's been too long.
I would love to.
Tony, the running joke typically is you have not been on the show, but if I'm communicating correctly with my producer, he has reached out.
There were a couple of attempts, and then it just so happened that I could not the times that I was asked.
No, that's okay. To keep it, we'll keep trying. I'll keep hounding him. Keep an eye out for a future episode of Jordan Jesse Go featuring Tony Thaxton.
Look at that.
I co-wrote a graphic novel that's coming out this summer. It is called Bubble. It is a sci-fi comedy with blood and guts and swearing and goofy hipsters who have to kill monsters. I co-wrote it with a great writer. Thank you. Thank you for the sci-fi sound effects. I co-wrote it with a great comedy writer named Sarah Morgan. The art is done by Tony Cliff and Natalie Reese. And it's coming out this summer. And it would be a big, big deal if you were interested, if you would pre-order it. You can pre-order it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or better yet, call your local indie bookstore or comic book store. Just give them a call. Say you want Bubble that's coming out in July. And please get it.
Wonderful. Tony?
I am on Twitter and Instagram at
Tony Thaxton.
And my podcast, Bizarre Albums, every Tuesday. And that also has a Patreon. I don't mention that enough. Patreon.com/Bizarre Albums. Bonus episodes, ad-free versions of the show, all that stuff. And then also, I'll mention again the Song a Week by Don't Stop or We'll Die podcast that I'm producing and also playing drums on the new song every week. So check those out.
Fun. And if you like what you're hearing, please click, rate, review, download, tell your friends, 5 stars, all those things. Listen to my other podcast, Childish. You can watch the Monday episodes, youtube.com/Alison Rosen. Please subscribe over there too. All sorts of, I can't say fun and I can't say great. So all sorts of good stuff. Follow me on social media at Alison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to tweet in your Just Me or Everyone's, do that to at ARIYNBF and then use hashtag JMOE. And I mentioned Patreon, and I'm also on Cameo, and I have a book, and blah, 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 blah. Go to my Amazon store. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. You guys, everyone I'm staring at right now, thank you so much for being on the show. Listeners, you matter. I love you. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.